Hi, thank you for joining me. So now it's Christmas, and I have been madly busy getting ready for it, wrapping presents, decorating the tree, icing the cake. I feel tired already. When you're a child, Christmas is a magical time. Certainly for me, as a child, Christmas was the time I looked forward to most. Being autistic, everyday life often felt challenging. And Christmas was a time when I could kind of escape all that because when you're a child, a lot of it is based around fantasies and make believe. So you get to live in your own magical fantasy world for that time. And there is nothing more exciting than the fantasy of Father Christmas. You count down the days until Christmas Eve, when Father Christmas will come and leave you all your presents. Interestingly, the original Father Christmas was thin and dressed in green. The fat red Father Christmas that we know today, that all came from Coca-Cola. Why they made him so fat when he's supposed to come down chimneys, I don't know. They didn't really think that one through. When me and my sister were small, we would all go and stay at our grandparents' house for Christmas. On Christmas Eve, they would take us to see Father Christmas in the village. We used to call him the local Father Christmas because it was always some local man who'd been in the pub all evening. Now, he would have to have a criminal record check before he was allowed near the kids. But in those days, it was just a case of, we need someone to dress up as Father Christmas. Okay, you'll do. He probably got paid in beer. Once Father Christmas was late because he'd been pulled over and breathalyzed. As you get older, some of that magic goes, especially once you stop believing in Father Christmas. Although it's still enjoyable, it often brings some stress with it. In general, I like Christmas. I enjoy the parties, the presents, the food. But when you're mentally ill, Christmas or any other festival can be very difficult. There are expectations on you. There is a lot of socialising, which is exhausting, and you feel that you have to put on a front, pretend to be happy and enjoying yourself when you're not, which is a big strain. It feels very lonely. You see everyone else enjoying themselves, but you can't, because you're being tortured by your own thoughts. You're completely lost in your own mind, and it's so consuming. You don't get time off for Christmas. It can't just be put to one side when there's a special occasion. There are no days off from it. Shopping for Christmas presents is hard work at the best of times. That's the one part of it I really don't enjoy. The shops are so busy, everything takes a long time. I hate it. Always good to shop online where you can. When you're ill, buying presents, wrapping the presents and writing cards is not what you want to be doing. You feel tired most of the time anyway, and all these tasks leave you feeling wiped out. This time 2 years ago, I was very ill, and I really didn't feel like celebrating at all. I was in an awful place mentally, and I couldn't get into the festive spirit, even though I really wanted to, because my internal world was so dark and scary. No amount of celebrating could relieve that. Usually you think about what you want to get as presents, but when you're ill, the only gift you want is to be well, and no one can give you that. Suicide rates are usually higher around Christmas and after. One reason is the short daylight hours at this time of year. Another reason is the demands it places on you can all get too much. Most festivals cost money and involve socialising. Sometimes that can be a struggle. The strain it puts on you financially and socially creates even more stress and anxiety, and the loneliness they feel. Sometimes all that can push people over the edge. Christmas is the season of peace and goodwill, charitable giving. Sometimes that gets forgotten. I love the Charles Dickens story A Christmas Carol. It's well known in most Western countries, For any people watching in other countries who aren't familiar with the story, it's set in London in Victorian times, and it's about a man called Ebenezer Scrooge, who is a moneylender and is very mean, cold-hearted, and has no empathy for the poor. On Christmas Eve, he is visited by the ghost of his dead business partner, who warns him that he must change his ways to avoid punishment in death. In the night, he is visited by 3 spirits: the spirit of Christmas past, to show him why he is like he is; the spirit of Christmas present, to show him the consequences of his actions; and the spirit of Christmas yet to come, to show him what will happen if he doesn't change his ways. Every year I watch the film. There are many different film versions of it because it's just such a good story. It highlights the fact that Christmas is not just about presents and food, it's also about helping those in need. People really need to have some compassion for those who are not enjoying the celebrations so much. It's not because they want to be antisocial, it's because they're struggling emotionally. They're tired. If you're struggling to get through Christmas, you can get help and support through phone helplines, mental health organisations, or talking to someone you trust. But don't let anyone just dismiss you and tell you to stop complaining, get over it and enjoy yourself because it's Christmas. You would do that if you could. No one wants to be miserable over Christmas, but that's just how it is sometimes, because mental illness doesn't care whether it's Christmas or not. And if they can't see that, then they're not the person to talk to. If it really gets tough, then seek medical help immediately. Whatever festivals you celebrate, if you see someone who doesn't seem to be full of excitement, don't scorn them. Reach out and talk to them. Ask them about how they're feeling. Having someone take the time to listen and not judge can be the thing that stops someone from contemplating suicide or harming themselves. For someone who is ill, extending that hand and giving them some hope, that is the best present you can give them. I hope this has been helpful. Take care of yourself. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.